opening session very soon. Looking forward to do one stroke events in Dayton also. Hopefully it'll take some time, but hopefully sometime in September, October time frame, I'm planning to go fly over the weekend and do some art classes. And we have other art instructors who's been learning one stroke technique there. um, she will be also helping in starting the classes there. um, it can be one stroke, and there are different art forms, Indian art forms also we are bringing to share all the historic Indian art forms that we have also in India. That's and also some American artists, Dayton artists that we have, paintings that we are collecting and presenting there, apart from our arts, my arts itself. Okay, looking forward to it. And going back. So I'm back home and I'm starting my classes now again, weekly ones, as I am planning my best to keep up to this. And thanks for those who are reaching out to me and conveying that they missed my classes. That means a lot to me. I'm looking forward to do more. So today we are going to do this simple project. I have 3 different combinations so that you have some reference of whichever color combinations you want to go with. So we will start with some background. So I'm going to go with some blues and yellow background, and I'm going to go with the yellow flowers. But for you, you can go with any combinations of your choice. These are some options that you can think of. Okay, so let's start with the background. So I'm going to go in this direction. I have this cardstock, not cardstock, sorry, in a canvas panel that I'm using today. We'll start with some background, and then we will do some practice sheets. As always, practice strokes with flowers and leaves that we are going to paint, and then we'll jump into the project. So let's start with the background. So normally, as you know, I always use the existing remaining paints, but today let's just go with the new paints for a change. And I have Indigo Night, it's a blue shade, and then Aqua that I am using for today's background, and some yellow. Is daffodil yellow, same yellow I will be using for our flowers as well, and then some sap green, same green I'm going to use for our leaves, and also with combination of lime green. So I'm going to pour some of that as well, lime green. Alright, this became thick. I'll make sure to have my white, Wicker White. I think I ran out of the white. I need to get the new one. Yeah. Alright. And then some floating medium as always. The floating medium is color without pigmentation, no color. If your paints are thick, you can use it, and couple of throw after loading couple of times. If the brush is not flowing easily, you can use that as well. And for the background, I'm going to use a thin sponge today. Wet my hand in water. I have brush caddy on the side. I'm just wetting my hand, just spreading this onto the canvas. Let's start with the light shades first. So white first. Oops, I spilled on my shirt. Just making sure my corners are more darker than the other colors that I have. Whatever is left over on my sponge, I'm just using it so that it's more lighter on the top, not picking up more. Instead of 3/4 brush, let's go with the, I think 3/4 is angle brush, 5/8 angle brush, and then wet your brush. I'm going to go with yellow with some touch of purple also, and then white on the other side, and white, pure white, yellow with touch of purple on the other side. I'm going to pick up some yellow. I want to make it darker. This best control, no, sorry, brush control when you're trying to do this loading. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of teal so that you can see my stroke better, because I'm doing on a smaller one, right? Yellow and teal will turn out a little bit of lighter greener shade, that's okay. But for before we start, just do a stroke so you can see what color combination that you're getting there. Okay, so because I'm on a white sheet, I don't want that to be white in color, so I'm going to go with teal and yellow so that you can see my stroke better. When I'm going on the canvas panel, we're going to change it to white. So let's try this one more time. Yellow on side. Okay, this is okay combination, so you can see my strokes better. I'm just picking up, loading my brush, right? And same, I'll leave this as a reference, like an arrow, okay? And that's your arrow, right? And from this side, you're going to start pressure stand up, right? Pressure, stand up. This is a normal stroke that we do, right? To the same one easy way to switch it is from top. When you're coming down, instead of turning the brush around, give that curve. Okay, that will give you this nice little. Same way, when you're going from this side, pressure, turn the brush around, giving that curve. That's one way. If you're not comfortable doing that way, there's another way. You can go from bottom and do that as well. Okay, so let's do one more time. Touch, so starting from top. If you want to do from top, pressure, curve, and curve the other side, right? That's one way of doing it. One more time, pressure, curve, curve the other side, right? And the same way, pressure, curve, curve the other side. So that way you can do, or you can just do this one long line, one long this side, and when you're turning onto this side, you're just curving like that. Let me pick up white now so you can see the curve better. So while you're going down, you're curving like that. Okay, and the same way, while you're going down, you're curving like that. That is like a folded stroke that we are doing. So let's continue and do more different styles how we want to do. And I mix both colors, so if that happens, you don't have to wash your brush. Just take out excess and reload your brush. That will take care of it. Picking up white on the yellow, I'm lightening my yellow here. Touch of floating medium so it will flow easily for me. So you can also do another way is you just do this curve first, right? And then from top you're curving down, top, you're curving down. Same way. Turning the other side. Okay, and if it is becoming so thick, you can lighten that. And if you want to make it more narrow, you just do this to get a narrow one on the bottom. Right, I'm picking up loading and then touch, curve other side. Whenever you're going down, always see pressure. I'm turning the brush all the way to the other side. Same way, and your top should be coming from top, curving to the other side. So this way it is more narrow and inward stroke that you're getting, right? In case, let me change some colors here to help our strokes. I'm trying some purple now. Purple on one side, yellow with touch of white on the other side. Same way, you're just doing a curve, right? And then from top, alright. That's one. And then you can also do like, okay, do the stroke, and then in the, use another brush, pick up some dark shade, fill up already with some dark filling in the center. Okay, the different ways I'm showing. And now go back to your colors, and it's always good to let it dry, but let me show it with the darker shade. So that's your top. That's my top. So that's one way, like to show the depth, and you can do that later also if you want. Okay, so those are different ways of doing our flowers, flower strokes, and you can make it more spread out, more closed, like we have here examples, right? And now we are going to move on to our leaves. So for the leaf, it is long, similar to long slender leaf. I'm now going to wash my brush. I'm going to pick up the same with the paints that I have. Touch of floating medium to flow easily. Touch of floating medium to flow easily. And then for the long leaf, use the center, let's say, example. And then on the bottom, it's going to be small. And then the same way to the other side. Just giving some wave. And then standing up by the time you reach up. Touch, curve, you can always go back, curve it. And then once you're done with the stroke, just do a nice center line. Okay, that is one, and let's do one more. Touch of white. And you want to make it more smaller, then more spread out leaf, then it's going to be, so I can do it here. So I'm going to make it this one. You can also draw some arrows, so that will help you on which direction you're going. I'll leave that arrow for reference, and let's say this is the one that I'm going to do. And then straighten your brush always, and then you want to make it more spread out, so your bristles has to go down more, spread out more, and then stand up, right? And on the other side also, more spread out, more spread out, more spread out, stand up. Right? Okay, so if you're not happy with any stroke, we are doing wet on wet technique, so you can always reload your brush right on top of your previous strokes. You can always stroke same way, stroke back. So those are some leaves that we can do. And for the filler strokes, we always fill it at the end with nice detail. Oops, that's a thick line. We want to go really thick, then don't put a lot of pressure. Just light pressure. pulling from this brush. And these are just the stems that we pulled, right? To that stems, let's say I have this one. Keep going. Continue, continue. So this is like, you can make it more spread out or more thin like this, and then you can add the remaining filler strokes with small scruffy. Just don't wet it, just spread it out, fresh one. And then let's say I just pick up tip of my brush, some white. Okay, because sorry, I'm on the white background, let me pick up yellow. And you just dab 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 to those, to get those little filler detailing. You're just spreading out and then also doing it on the center, so it's all nicely spread out. Then you can just pick up little bit of white on top and then dab on top if you want to have the lighter version also. And when we are doing on the canvas, we might go with the white. White looks great. So here, filler strokes, leaves, mixing up, and then these flowers. Oops. Alright, and then dropping this in the water, and I'm done with the 12 for now. I'm dropping in the water. I'm going to pick up 3/4 brush. Alright, I'm going to wet my brush, take out excess water to napkin, and now we decided to go with yellow and white, right? So let's go with that. And I'll push a little bit backward so you can see my canvas better. I want to make it darker on this, so indigo blue. So the flower is nicely seen also. Indigo blue and white. Indigo blue and white is what I'm going with. So I'm going to start my first flower, starting from here, pressure, pressure. Want to make sure all the center is darker. Make sure your circle is done first. Like an angle. That makes it easier actually. And now do your stroke. Touching from top and then curving down. Okay. Making sure you're not losing your dark shade. Touching from top and curving down. Same way the other side. Indigo white. Then the other side. Touch. And then before I forget, just do the bottom first. That makes it easier. And then start your top. Cover up. And then your top. Losing my dark shade here and pouring some more. Touch. You have both of them. The second one, first one, you see that it's lighter, so you can always fix it. So you want to make sure it is dark in the center, and then you get this light shade. Okay, same way the other side. And we have both the flowers, but I don't want to make it like lighter as I mentioned, so I'm just pulling in the dark shade that I'm looking for. That. Now on the center, like we discussed before, let me add this script liner. Let it, because we're doing at the end, I'm just adding touch of darker in the center. And then sap green in the center to give that dark tone. final details we're going to add later, but 2 flowers base is done. So let's move on to, I'm not washing my brush, just using the same brush, loading my green and yellow on one side, green on one side, loading touch of white on one side. On the yellow side I'm having touch of white, more whiter side, and then sap green. So I'm going to go to a new spot that is empty little bit, touch of floating medium to flow easily, making sure my brush is intact. And if you're not happy, you can always go to a new spot if you want. I have enough paint loaded well, touch of floating medium, and now I'm going to add the stems that I'm looking for. Maybe make sure your brush is straight as part of this. Okay, and same way on the other. Okay, mostly it will be covered with the leaves, so I'm not worried on how it's going to look and those kind of details. But this is a big leaf I'm going to add here, and the second leaf is going to go a little smaller. Okay, for the big leaf it's going to go till here, and it's going to be spread out from bottom, and I want highlight of white on one side, so I'm just going to go make sure I have that, and then same way I'm going to do one more time. You can go upside down in case that works better for you. For this one I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to just go this way, and then this one I'm going to do one more time, making sure loaded well, colors are there, and then one more, 1 2 3. This will help you spread out your paint nicely. Touch of floating medium. And then sap or lime green, citrus green or lime green on the other side. And I'm making it more a bent leaf here. So the leaf will start flat and then bent here. Pick up some white, straighten, and then that's the bent leaf that you have. And the other side you're just using your darker shade, blue to your One more time. That's a bent leaf that you have. Second one, I'm going to make it more flat. And a smaller one as well. Okay. Then touch. I don't like this brush. Let's change it to 3/4 flat. At least for this stroke. Okay. I'm picking up white, green, white again on one side, some light green on one side, dark green on the other side, making sure your dark green is intact too. Touch of the indigo blue to your green, and then your touch of floating medium as well. You're ready with your loaded brush. And here I'm just going to 1, 2, 3. Again one more time. I made a big one here. I'm not happy with this leaf, so what do we do, right? So we can always cover the leaf with another leaf, some of it, okay? And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to cover some of this leaf with one more leaf going on this direction. Okay? So there are ways that we can fix stuff. Sometimes we don't get the way that we look, but how to correct that, make changes, or fix or clean completely, it's all different ways that we can fix it. So I chose to overlap on that one little bit. And the brush that I chose was not the right one. That was one of the reasons. And then I have now I'm going on top of this. Touch of floating medium, loading my brush, and then 1, 2, 3. And that leaf went all the way back completely, right? You still have the leaf, but you don't have to worry about that leaf. Okay, so now for the filler details, either you can go back to this flat angle brush, load it with the angle brush, same colors, green and white. Or you can just go with the same brush. So I'm going to go with this brush because I want to make it more straight lines, and then floating medium will help you, because I am not worried about color mixing here. I'm just loading with a darker green or white or whatever. On the one side it's lighter, little lighter. It's more of a green shade is what I'm looking for. Okay, so we have the green, touch of floating medium, and we want to make sure it is flowing nice and clean. Okay, so now we did this practice strokes of you remember these filler strokes. We are going to have those strokes covering, and as we said, we are not happy with this, right? So we can also cover some of these with the filler strokes as well. Okay, so now I'm just having as I said, we're not trying to perfect here, we're just keeping that lines going. Going back, reloading. And just to keep that angle going, I'll have one more going here. And then one going in this direction. Make sure we're loading it well. Going upside down so I can share this. So we are showing in a way that it's going behind the sleeve kind of. And I'm now reducing my pressure so I can just get lighter lines here. And also I'm not picking up more paint if you notice. I'm just using whatever is left over on my brush to get that more. And then I'm just pulling like a feather. Not too dark, not too filled. And I'm covering the backside leaf also with this. And now here I want to add more defined leaves. I'm not picking up more, I'm just continuing and just 2 leaves. And then here I'm just going again. Okay. We did all this background, now we're going back to this white, fresh white, and then filling that white dot, just dabbing, okay? Filling in. All I'm doing is just dabbing with some white. Okay, done with this. So now let's just go back, pick up small two flat brush, and here and there I'm just going to load filling in, adding some more finer details. I'm just filling in some minor leaves here and there. Just a 2 script liner and then the basic 1-stroke leaf is what I'm doing here. Load, touch, pressure, pull. Filling in. Okay. Outer lines, I'm just adding more details. Inner one, you don't have to worry because it is falling out. I'm just now picking some floating medium also here and there without any paint. Make it look more like shadow leaves going. Okay. And one going this side. And now I'm going to go with just wash the brush, just the floating medium. Take out excess actually, and then just the floating medium, and then just loaded floating medium, just filling the darker shade with the floating medium in the center. Okay. Now go back to your script liner. Take fresh white. Take fresh white, inky consistency. Very little. Fresh white water. Want to make it inky or little thicker than inky. Then giving these finer details. Okay, this is one way of highlighting your details. Okay, now on the center, I'm going to go a little longer than here. In the center, just pick up yellow, clean yellow. Before that, just want some green. Stem going from here. Then add this yellow. Just giving some yellow dots here. Same way on the other side. Just giving yellow. Dots. Make sure your yellow is intact. Making sure my green is also it has to be dark. Coming from inside. And then yellow can continue to be more dominating to the bottom. Alright, so that's our painting. We added all the flowers and details, and now I'm just going to sign my painting. With the script liner. That's too light, I'm going to go with white. Right, hope you enjoyed the class. So this is our painting. Alright, and these are some references. We decided to go not with any of these colors. We went with indigo night, and then white and some yellow and color mix of combinations of colors that we use. But you can go with any of these colors or more. These are just some references, and you can come up with a beautiful painting of your style. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye now.